All right, guys. Hey, passengers are not free to leave a traffic stop. My name is Anthony Bandiero, bringing you the Roadside Chat. This is what I do for a living. If you've not been to one of my classes, online, in person, on demand, you got to check it out. I think you would really enjoy it. I'm also the author of several search and seizure books, the most popular being The Search and Seizure Survival Guide. If you have not seen that book, please check it out. All right, this question comes from an officer in Missouri, and he says, look, can the officer require a passenger on a traffic stop to remain at the stop? Maryland versus Wilson allows the control of the passengers during a traffic stop. However, that is controlling them, for your safety while they are present at the stop. Absent independent reasonable suspicion, can the officer require a passenger to remain where they wish, where they are, right, on the stop, or can they just leave and walk away? The answer, generally speaking, is no. They're not free to leave, right? You can order them to stick around, and actually, the rationale would be for your officer safety. And also, you don't know what you even have yet. I mean, you make the traffic stop, yeah, it's for some speeding violation, but do you really know what this is going to turn into? And then within 30 seconds, the passenger gets up and starts walking away. What do they have with them? What if this turns into a murder investigation? And now your passenger just took all the evidence, right? So here is a case that a lot of people use. Brendlin versus California, U.S. Supreme Court. They said any reasonable passenger would have understood the police officers to be exercising control to the point that no one in the car was free to depart without police permission. I understand that Brendlin, push comes to shove, and is not a case involving a passenger trying to walk away and the officer seizing that person. The Brendlin is just answering the question about whether or not they are just seized as a constitutional matter, and therefore they can challenge the reason for the stop. But to me, the text is very clear here. The Supreme Court is not being ambiguous here. The passengers not only are seized and can challenge the reason for the stop, but they're also not free to leave unless the cop gives them a reason. Arizona versus Johnson also reinforces this mindset. A lawful roadside stop begins when a vehicle is pulled over for investigation of a traffic violation. The temporary seizure of the driver and the passengers ordinarily continues and remains reasonable for the duration of a traffic stop. So, look, the Supreme Court, I think if it was asked to answer the question directly, can we actually force people to stay on scene? I think the answer has to be yes. For one, the evidence issue, but two, the safety issue, right? If you do not feel comfortable that it's not prudent to let this passenger go, then you shouldn't let him go. I have a video of a female passenger exiting a vehicle during a traffic stop, then pulls out a gun and starts shooting at the officers. Keep that in mind when you're asking yourself, are these people free to leave? Now, in some states, they are free to leave. Washington and Oregon are two that come to mind. But maybe those states have something in common. Maybe those states appear to love their criminals more than the safety of their police officers. Maybe them more than the safety of their community. But every other state that I'm aware of does not allow a passenger to leave without police permission. All right. At the same time, let's make some good case law here. Don't just do things because the law, you just think, oh, because I was told I can do it. Have reasons. Articulate things. Persuade the court why you're right. Talk about the evidence issue. Talk about the ambush issue, the safety issue. Talk about that. And then at the same time, use good judgment. I had a traffic stop involving a very high-speed motorist. I make the traffic stop. They pull into, they actually end up not pulling over immediately, but they're pulled into a gated community. And, I almost thought it was like this close to failure to yield, but then they stopped. I went up to the car. The wife, clearly pregnant, I think. She said that she was basically having to go to the bathroom. The baby was pushing on her bladder and so forth, and that's why the husband was speeding. I believe them. I thought that they were being legit. So the wife was like, can I please go into my house? Which that's why they apparently were failing to yield a little bit to get to the house. Can I go into the house and go to the bathroom? She says, I'll come right back out. And the thing is, look, I let her leave the traffic stop. And I said, you don't have to come back here, right? Did I think I was being played? No, they did not appear to me to be drug addicts and, you know, something up. It all made sense to me about why they were speeding and being right at the house and so forth. But is it possible that they could have concealed something and she could have concealed something and took evidence away from the traffic stop? Yes. Is it possible that she could have ambushed me? Yes. Did I think that was going to happen? No. I mean, you have to be careful with the hypervigilance. It can go to an extreme. So there's always risk in the job that you do. All right, so have a good reason, but I hope this helped. They're not free to leave in most states. You control them. How much force can you use? Well, treat it like a Terry stop. You can obviously use a reasonable amount of force to keep them on scene. You can't use deadly force, obviously, to keep them on scene. You can use a reasonable minimum amount of force to keep them on scene for the status quo, and we go from there. If they are fighting you, resisting you, running from the traffic stop, that in and of itself is either a crime or reasonable suspicion. All right? All right. Guys, thank you so much. I hope this video has helped you get it right every single time, and I'll see you guys next time.